To election 2016, looking in the rearview mirror at the GOP presidential debate, the candidates have less than 3 weeks to convince the first undecided set of voters in Iowa. In fact, they faced off in their first debate in 2016, and it was a showdown among some, a sleeper for others. Let's talk about what happened with News4JAX's political analyst, Jennifer Carroll. Good to have you here. The attacks were increasingly sharp, and they clashed over everything from citizenship to conservation, and Donald Trump, well, he was on the attack again.
Since September, the Constitution hasn't changed. But the poll numbers have.
Big question mark on your head. And you can't do that to the party.
I've spent my entire life defending the Constitution before the U.S. Supreme Court, and I'll tell you, I'm not going to be taking legal advice from Donald Trump.
So where does this end? I mean, does this citizenship question become a big deal for Ted Cruz?
It's already a big deal for Ted Cruz because many voters now are questioning, would he be legal to sit in the president's seat without a big legal debate? And I think Ted Cruz should take this opportunity to just really get a judicial or a judge or court to say, you are legal to sit in that seat if you are elected as president, because this will haunt him throughout the campaign.
You don't think his campaign folks are trying to do that?
His campaign folks may do it, but it's not going to come with a sense of validity. And that's what Donald Trump was trying to bring up last night. He says, let the courts handle it. Let the judge say that you are valid to sit in that seat once you're elected. We have an individual that ran for a mayor around, I forget what area in the country it was, and after he got elected, he could not sit in the seat because he was a convicted felon previously. So he can run, but could he hold the office?
And if you have any question as to how acrimonious this issue has become with the nation, I want to show you the front page of the New York Daily News right now. Yes, that's the Statue of Liberty. It is giving Ted Cruz the one-finger salute, and it reads, "Drop dead. Ted, hey, Cruz, you don't like New York values. Go back to Canada." So Trump is the one who's stirring up this anger, and I thought it was very interesting that he sat back and said, you know what? You want to put that mantle of anger on me? I readily accept it.
Well, Trump is really doing Cruz a favor, because if Ted Cruz wants to be president and this is going to be something that looms over his head, he needs to address it rather than saying, I am valid to be. Because many Americans do not know the Constitution, do not know the changes to the Constitution as to what a natural born or a citizen is supposed to be to run for office. The other thing, too, when Ted Cruz went after Donald Trump saying you're a New Yorker, Donald Trump had a very good comeback to say, listen, after 9/11, we came together. I was so proud of this city. And now it's like the Southerner going after the Northerner. And so it really made for an exciting, content-full debate last night. And hopefully, if individuals did not get a chance to see that, they'll go back and look at it, because the candidates got a chance to really explain their policies and had a true debate in the differences with each other and going after each other with regards to the policy differences, not necessarily attacking each other on a personal level.
Now, while it's clear that the bromance between Cruz and Trump is over, I thought it was interesting that both Rubio and Christie decided to try and put another nail in Hillary's coffin. The latest NBC poll shows she is behind Bernie Sanders. This is what happened on the stage.
You're worried most of all about keeping your homes and your families safe and secure. You cannot give Hillary Clinton a third term of Barack Obama's leadership.
We need to unite behind the winner so that we can defeat Hillary Clinton, because she is a disaster.
She wouldn't just be a disaster. Hillary Clinton is disqualified from being Commander-in-Chief of the United States.
Jeb Bush kind of just interjected himself. That was about the only time you really saw or heard from him there. But Marco Rubio was a little more forceful in his presentation.
He was, but Jeb Bush had a good one-liner. He said in the first 100 days of Hillary Clinton, if she gets elected, she'd be going from the White House to the courthouse. And that, again, puts doubts in people's mind. Bernie Sanders is coming up on her heels, and there's a debate for the Democrats on Sunday. So we'll see how that goes. There'll be two of them on the stage.
And if you look at the latest polls, Bernie Sanders is certainly ahead, and it basically signals that Hillary Clinton may no longer be the shoo-in that the Dems had thought.
There you go. It's always interesting.